If you've ever sat alone replaying a conversation over and over, wondering did that really happen? Questioning your memory, your feelings, your sanity. This video is for you. Because what you're experiencing is not weakness. It's not overthinking. And it's definitely not being too sensitive. It's psychological control. And today, we're exposing the difference between manipulation and gaslighting, because confusing the two is how people lose years of their lives, their confidence, and their sense of self. Stay with me. By the end of this video, things you felt but couldn't explain will finally make sense. Let me say this clearly, if someone has ever made you feel confused after every interaction, if you leave conversations feeling smaller, guilty, or unsure why you apologized, if you constantly question whether you are the problem, you are not broken. You are responding normally to abnormal behavior. And no, this isn't just miscommunication. This is power, control, psychological erosion. And here's the part no one tells you, manipulation and gaslighting feel similar, but they damage you in very different ways. Once you understand the difference, you stop blaming yourself. Let's start with manipulation. Manipulation is about influencing your choices. A manipulative person doesn't need you to doubt reality. They just need you to feel pressured, obligated, or guilty enough to comply. Manipulation sounds like, after all I've done for you, if you loved me, you would. You are disappointing me, everyone else agrees with me. Manipulation uses guilt, fear, obligation, approval. Here's the key. You still know what happened. You still trust your memory. But you feel responsible for their emotions. Manipulation says, you know what's happening, but you owe me. And many people stay stuck here because they think, if I just explain better, if I'm kinder, if I try harder. That's the trap. Gaslighting is different. Gaslighting doesn't just influence your behavior. It attacks your reality. Gaslighting sounds like, that never happened, you were imagining things, you were too sensitive, you were remembering it wrong, you were crazy. Gaslighting makes you doubt your memory, your emotions, your perception. And this is where people start to disappear inside themselves. You stop trusting your instincts. You start apologizing automatically. You ask others to confirm what you saw and felt. Gaslighting doesn't want your compliance. It wants your collapse. And if this part hits hard, pause. Breathe. You're not alone. Here's the simplest way to understand it. Manipulation says, I know what happened, and I'll use it to control you. Gaslighting says, what happened doesn't exist, and neither does your version of reality. Manipulation pressures your choices. Gaslighting erases your confidence. Manipulation makes you feel guilty. Gaslighting makes you feel insane. And when both are used together, that's when people lose years, decades, of their lives. Let me give you examples you'll recognize immediately. Manipulation example, you say no. They sigh. They sulk. They remind you of everything they've done for you. You feel bad, but you still know you said no. Gaslighting example, you bring up something they said. They laugh. They deny it. They accuse you of twisting things. Suddenly, you're apologizing for something they did. That's the difference. And if you're thinking, oh my God, this explains everything. Yes. Yes, it does. Gaslighting doesn't just hurt you emotionally. It disconnects you from your intuition, your memory, your self-trust. That's why survivors say, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't trust myself. I feel empty. That's not weakness. That's neurological survival. Your brain adapted to confusion. And the fact that you're here, watching this, means you're waking up. Here's what helps, slowly, safely, realistically. 1. Stop explaining. You don't need to convince someone who benefits from misunderstanding you. 2. Document reality. Write things down. Journals restore self-trust. 3. Name the pattern. Once you can say this is gaslighting, it loses power. 4. Set internal boundaries first. Even if you can't leave yet, protect your mind. And hear this, clarity comes before strength. You don't need to be strong to heal. You need to be aware. If no one has told you this yet, let me be the one. You were not difficult. You were not dramatic. You were not imagining things. You adapted to psychological pressure. You survived emotional distortion. And the confusion you feel now? It's not failure. It's the moment before clarity. If this video put words to something you felt for years, that's not coincidence. It means you're ready to reclaim yourself. Comment below if this resonated. Share it with someone who needs language for their pain. And subscribe, because this channel is about clarity, healing, and getting your reality back. You are not crazy. You never were. You were being controlled. And now, you see it.